and welcome back to Oh So Sweet. So in today's video tutorial, we're going to have a look at bag making. So I have been having a little play around with making bags. I've got one here. This is a shoulder bag that I had a little go at. It's a smaller one, but it's perfect for when you're out and about and you just want to take a few items with you. I might look at doing a tutorial on that next. However, today's tutorial is all about this shoulder bag here. It's a slightly larger bag. But again, it's fabulous for extra bits on the outside because it does have these pockets and a little compartment for a pen as well. I've got a little bit of velvet fabric on the bottom. This particular print is kind of like a shell waterproof fabric that I've used, same as that one there. Both of these materials are from Flamingo Fabrics. If you haven't already checked them out, please do visit them online. They also have a Facebook page and they have some of the best materials and amazing deals as well, so look out for those. So yes, do check out Flamingo Fabrics. This particular one with the kingfishers is one of my favourites and I couldn't resist. So I've made the strap out of the same material as well. I've used a little bit of iron-on interfacing. So the interfacing that I've used is about I'd say about a lightweight to medium iron-on as well. So it's an iron-on fusible interfacing. And for the lining I've used sort of like similar to like curtain material, sort of canvas type, upholstery type material on the inside. Again, that was just a fat quarter that came in handy for the lining. So we'll go through the tutorial. Obviously, if you've got any questions, do pop them in the comments below and I look forward to hearing from you all. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you'll need is some material for the outer part, some lining and the bottom part of the outer, a 30 centimetre zip and some buckles as well. So I've got some D-rings and I've got some buckles that'll go onto the D-ring, and I've also got a slider to help adjust the strap that I'll be attaching. So I've got a piece of paper here that I've folded in half. You can use sort of a couple of sheets of A4 to sort of put this together and then cut it out. So I folded it in half. I've measured the bottom at 22 centimetres across. In terms of length, we've got 35 centimetres and I've measured 16 centimetres across. So from the point of the top and bottom, I've kind of got a ruler and just drawn a line and I've cut that shape out to then give me the shape of my bag. So the first thing to do is to cut out your lining. So what I've done is here I've actually got a piece of material with a fold at the bottom and I've cut one piece of lining there which has been doubled up. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to get a pen and a ruler. I'm going to fold it back in half again and I'm going to measure 10 centimetres using a ruler from the bottom and just make a little mark there. That portion, that 10 centimetre portion at the bottom is going to be for the bottom part of the bag, which I'm doing in sort of like a velvet piece. So I'm going to get a pair of scissors and just cut this out now. So remember, we've got the fold down the middle. Do keep hold of that other sheet, so we do need that piece. Here's a pre-cut piece just to show you how it would look. So when you are cutting that piece out, make sure that you've actually doubled it at the bottom. I've left a little bit of space at the top there just for some seam allowance, only because it's a very thick fabric. But again, make sure you've got that fold running across the bottom so that the piece folds outwards like so. So I'll just pop that aside for now. So on our remaining piece, what we're going to do is we're going to cut two pieces of fabric from our outer fabric, which is, for myself, it's the waterproof fabric, this one here. So we've got two pieces cut to that size. And then what we're also going to do now is once we've cut those pieces out, we're going to further cut into our pattern to create a pocket. So I've just measured 10 centimetres from the top. And then I'm gonna just draw a quick line there and cut across there. And it's the bottom section of that we want to keep to create the outer pocket. So once we've got that piece there, we need to cut 2 pieces of the outer fabric. So again, it's the same fabric that I've used, the waterproof one. So we've got our 2 pieces there. As you can see, I've got my pre-cut pieces here, and I've left a little bit of seam allowance. And again, this is only because I'm using a very thick fabric underneath. What I've also done is put some iron-on interface. I've used sort of light to medium weight there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put these pieces together and sew around them so it's right side facing each other with a sewn edge and a little bit of a gap in the middle there, just so we can turn it the right way around. Here we go, that's been done. I'm going to just turn that the right way around. There we go, so that's nice and flat and ready. So what we need to do now is we need to place that pocket onto one of our front outside panels. So this pocket will be just going directly onto that piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a go at trying to sort of fix that in place, but we're going to put the bottom piece, which is the thick velvet. Just grab that for a second. So this is the thick material that will be going across the bottom. So I'm just lining up the right side's facing the bag so that it flips out the right way after we've sewn it. So again, I'm just going to pop that into place. I'm going to sew that directly across the bottom. That's now done, and what I'm now going to do is I'm going to put the pocket in place. We've got some top stitching and some side stitching to do, and even some little stitches in the middle there. I do want to kind of create compartments. I'd like to do a little pen compartment here if possible as well. It's up to you how many pockets you actually put in there. It's entirely up to you. You can put them in as you go along. And here we go. So the pocket's now in place, sides are up, pockets are accessible. I've got 2 pockets on the right. I've even got my little pen one. I'm just going to test and see. Pen goes in, there we go. And there we are, we've got the pen in as well. So that's all sorted and done. So the next step is to put some D-rings in. Now, I've got some pieces of fabric that I've pre-cut and also put some interfacing on the back of as well. These are 7 by 9 centimeters. What you need to do is fold them 1/3 of the way in. And then after you've done that, you're going to fold it again in half. And once you've got that folded, you need to top stitch at either side of those, along that edge and the other. Once that's done, you can actually pop it through the D-ring like that. And then I'll just clip that in place there. That will be put against the side, and then we'll just kind of put a little stitch across the top. Leave a bit of a gap, about an inch gap, and just stitch that on, and the same again on the other side. So again, with that piece, if you pop it landscape and then do it 2/3 of the way in, so 1/3 each side, and then what you've got is a quick fold in half, stitch, and pop it through into your D-ring. And once you've got that in place, again, D-ring facing inwards, we'll stitch across. So here we are, we're nice and secure with those D-rings. They're now in place, quite secure. And we're going to put the other side of the fabric now just across the bottom. So just line those up very carefully and make sure that it's the right side facing the right side of the fabric. So the 2 right sides facing each other, and stitch across the bottom. And here we go, we've got our sides that have been now nicely stitched on, everything's in place there. I've also put some interfacing on the back there, got a little bit crinkly there, but we've got some nice stability now in our waterproof fabric, just giving us a little bit of sturdiness. What we're going to do now is we're going to apply our zip. So I've got a 30 centimetre zip here, and it's fairly sturdy kind of zip. And we're going to put the right side of the zip facing the outer fabric, and then we're going to get our piece of lining, line up the edge so that it's sandwiched between, so that the zip, is sandwiched between this edge of our lining and the edge of the outer fabric, and sew across. Now that that's done, we're going to flip those two pieces of fabric back on each other. I've actually already gone across and done a very, very quick top stitch across there. So if you haven't already, get that top stitched across. Once you've done that, you can then basically put those fabrics flat so that the zip's in the middle, and then bring the two remaining outer edges inwards. And then what you're then going to do is bring them so that they are sandwiching that zip in again. So it's pretty much the same process as what we've just done. We're going to bring those edges up to the top of that zip, and we're going to sandwich that zip into the middle. Just hold those nice and steady so that you've got those little loops hanging, and then we're going to sew straight across. There you go. So that's nice and steadily done, and we're just going to turn that inside out now. And there you go. That's now inside out. So it'll be easier to top stitch now that it's the right way round. And here we go, it's been top stitched. We've got the bag back to where we've got it inside out. We've got the lining on one side and the outer on the left. So I'm just making sure the zip's a little bit open. We're going to stitch all the way across that bottom edge, and we're going to stitch across the top edge. Now we're going to leave a little bit of a gap just to the left there, just so that we can turn the bag inside out. There we go, guys. So that's now been stitched. And before we actually turn that bag inside out from that gap, I'm going to get a pen and I'm going to mark off the corners. So this is going to help box out the corners of our bag. So if you can mark around roughly about 5 centimeters inwards. And then again, another 5 centimeters just along the left side there, just making sure that we're measuring it accurately. There we go. And then once you've made your mark, what you need to do is you need to get your ruler, put those marks together, just line those up, and then just put a line across so that we know where to cut our fabric. Because inevitably what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sewing those corners up just to get that box shape. Repeat that on all the corners. So again, 5 centimeters by 5. Now if you get your pair of scissors and chop those little corners off. Once you've chopped them, what you can do is you can open up those little cuts that you've made and just put that V shape together so that you're lining the 2 points together. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sew across in a very, very straight line. You are going to end up with some triangles just at the top there, just to that we can trim those. So I'll just show you with the ruler. We're going to go literally just straight across there with the sewing machine, stitch in a straight line, and then we'll cut the rest with scissors. So here we go, guys. What I've done is I've sewed that across on all 4 corners, and I've chopped off the excess and any bulk that was left at the top. And now you're actually ready to turn it inside out. So reach in and start turning it the right way round. So this remaining hole might need to be sewed up, so you can either do that by hand. Once you've got that sort of turned in, you can either press it, do it with a needle, or you can run the machine over the top. And there we go. So I've run the machine over. I'm just going to pop that in now. And there we go, guys. The bag is actually ready. That's our zip in place, our D-rings, all ready to go. Now onto the strap. So the strap that I've got here, I've measured out at roughly about 140 centimeters, and it's 10 centimeters wide. Now I'm going to fold 1 centimeter in from one edge, 1 centimeter in from the other, and then I'm going to fold it in half, which will leave us with a 4 centimeter wide strip, or strap should I say, which will go through lovely with our buckle that we have. So that's now been top stitched. I've now got the end here, which I'm going to pop through the sort of lobster clip. Once you've got it through there, just fold it over, and then we're going to fold it over again. Make sure you've gone over the top of that ring just to keep it in place. We're going to do a very quick top stitch over the top of that. Now that's done, nicely secured in place. What we're going to do is we're going to pass that strip or strap through the actual slider. So this sort of buckle slider is what's going to let us control the actual length of the strap. So that's gone through. Once you've passed it through, what we're going to do is we're going to pop that into the other buckle. So, I think I've got this the wrong way around. Let me just see. Yeah, I'll just adjust that. There we go. So that needs to be on top there. So just make sure that your buckles are going in the right direction as well. So we've passed it through the actual buckle. Now what we need to do is we need to bring it back and pass it through that middle section of our slider. There we go. So that's now through the middle section of our slider. So again, we need to turn it in once and then fold it against the actual strap. I'm just going to pull that through just to get a little bit of room there as well for us to slide that through so that it's fully adjustable there. There we go. It works like a dream. So make sure you've folded it once and put it against the actual strap and top stitched. And there we go. So we've got our buckles in place, we've got our strap. Our strap is fully adjustable just by sliding that through there. And the buckles are now ready to go onto our bag. And there we go. Hi guys, so hopefully that's given you a little bit more info on how to create this lovely shoulder bag. Obviously you can make sort of amendments and you can kind of change bits. You might decide that you don't want the pocket on the outside, you might have it on the inside. It could be that you use a slightly different sort of zip or buckle. You may even go for different dimensions. But do have a go, it's a lovely little tutorial. If you've got any questions, please pop your comments in the comment section below and hopefully I will get in touch. Thank you again for tuning into Oh So Sweet.